2009 Smart Fourtwo. Driving a smart car is like whipping out Marmite every day at lunch and scooping spoonfuls of it on store-brand whole wheat and announcing to the entire cafeteria, "I enjoy this!"
Oh, yeah, I love it. Oh, I love everything about this. I love revolting, expensive products sold in small portions to niche markets.
Slow down, you crazy teen. You're so damn anxious with that inline 3, but with your smaller frame, I can see why you think you're cool. But why don't you realize it's just a smart Fourtwo?
Like the DeLorean, driving a smart car turns you into a political incumbent seeking re-election. Brace yourself and pop rivet on a Nancy Reagan smile, because here comes a skid loader full of cash assistance questions. How safe is that car? Hey, where are the clowns? Hey, what happens if you get into an accident? Well, what happens if a semi hits you? Hey, is that good on gas? Well, what happens if a tractor-trailer truck hits you? What then, smart guy? If you drive a Smart Fourtwo, you're gonna have to defend this car every time you drive. And Daimler will protest that the name Smart is a Mr. Sparkle combination of other names, and that's bull. It's called a smart car because the self-actualized twit market has deep child-free coffers, and if there's one thing that professionally offended people want, is compliments to their intelligence. Smart Fourtwo, a car for someone who responds to every cat video with, "You're hurting it!" The first time you try to adjust the vents, you'll turn the blower off. This is not a boost gauge. Ballasts. Ballasts on a Smart. Ballast on a Smart. Silver stars ain't good enough for you. Ballasts on a Smart. The driver doesn't get to look at himself. Check it out. The roof of this smart car is glass. And in order to block the light, what they give you is this nudie boost style drapes that you pull from one end to the other that does nothing. This is also not a boost gauge. Under the floor mat, and under the carpet, and under this thing is not your spare tire. Daimler gives you a box of well wishes, which is a can of Fix-A-Flat and a cigarette lighter air pump. Inside the tailgate is more trunk. And there's a tow hitch here. Tow hitch. You really got... Oh, you're serious, aren't you? Here's the thing if you drive a smart car. If you drive a smart car, you better be committing to this type of lifestyle. If you drive a smart car, you're always just a little bit the bad guy. And here's why. There's no getting around this car's size and what it can't do. A smart car can never haul quite like a regular car can. If you drive a smart car, your other car better be an Econoline van. Like the Mustang, this car is wrapped up in tons of symbolism. And the name doesn't help. If it's a smart car, does that mean there's dumb cars? Yes, there is. When you drive a smart car, you're saying that every other car is the wrong car. You don't know it, but that's what you're doing, and that's why Americans don't like this car. It's a small package that's completely full of itself. Oh, here comes a smart car driver again, and he's smiling this time, and you know why, because he needs to borrow your Ford Ranger again. But I really shouldn't be doing that, because making fun of the smart car is violating the #1 rule about comedy. Never punch down. The 2009 Smart Fourtwo is a rear-engine, 2-door, 2-passenger, rear-wheel drive crackerjack toy that looks like it was purchased through Box Tops for education. The Fourtwo is tiny, white, and fancies itself smart with a highfalutin sense of its place in the world, basically a Yukon grad on wheels. Aesthetically, this car is a little white piece of Minority Report. It's a sort of futuristic vision of what cars are supposed to be like in 20 years. Like a kid who's selective about when he gets to be a baby and when he gets to be a big boy, and under the hood he might even satisfy enough basic needs that it would be perfect for a no-frills consumer. And the engine is a piccolo snare full of pilot bread that makes a sound like it desperately wants to be a diesel. It's 3 lethargic cylinders of passive aggression. If you really want to make a Smart Fourtwo run, you have to put 91 octane in it, and this car here has 15-inch aftermarket wheels. Look at it. It's so white. It looks like C. Thomas Howell, pre-Soul Man. The Smart Fourtwo, for the guy who thinks the Prius isn't pretentious enough, this is the chariot for daytime television enthusiasts who race to the vitamin shop to buy green tea extract because Dr. Oz told them they could still get a large popcorn at the movie theater as long as they took a tablet before every meal. It's a car for belonging to vague-sounding organizations because the Vector Corporation and Quest Diagnostics totally don't sound like tax shelters for the Legion of Doom. The 2009 Fourtwo came in 3 trims, each with incrementally platitudic names and prices that are about in line with what you'd spend getting a 2-year degree in communications at the local JC. The 3 trims were Pure, which is the base trim, Passion, which is whatever, and Passion Cabriolet, which is the whatever without a roof. The most expensive trim was $16,990 US, with the prices for the other two in descending increments of roughly $2,000. Its inexplicable success would be the silliest thing about it if it didn't have such a weird backstory. In 2007, Chinese manufacturer automobile company released the Noble. Shared a suspiciously similar design with the Fourtwo to such an extent that Daimler AG sued Shigi Automobile Company for perceived infringement of their copyright. This, despite the Noble from being front engine and front wheel drive. In effect, Daimler was suing over an aesthetic similarity, which is a lot like a middle-aged housewife getting into a catfight because Betty Bitchy Resting Face Freeburg is wearing the same dress as her in the class of '92 reunion. Long story short, Daimler lost the case, with the judge declaring that if a vehicle varies in its technical specification, then any external similarities are irrelevant. The legal system was essentially declaring that looks aren't what's important, it's what's on the inside that counts. Maybe there's a butterfly inside of all of us, a Rachel Lee Cook waiting to be she's all thatted out of our gawky exteriors. Or maybe, just maybe, you can judge a book by its cover. You know what you're getting with a McGraw-Hill textbook, and odds are you're never going to read through the whole thing, and never more than once.
Okay, I know this is a manual, but see, if it feels like I'm going 65, I'm going 50.
Yeah, it feels faster than it is.
I'm gonna just test the turning radius.
Oh yeah. Where you going?
Round you. That's, look at that. That's hilarious.